that because of what happened in 2001, they said, well, you know what? We want a national ID card. And at first glance, people think, well, I have Social Security and I have my license, so what's the difference? Well, instead of using all this time to tell you what the difference is that all of your information would be collected in a series of national databases. That may not scare you too much. We're going to go into another tape rule in about a minute. We're going to extend that for another minute or two. That may not scare you too much, that all your information is going to be in one place. However, what might bother you is that if you don't have this national ID card, you can't do any federal buildings, you can't open up a bank account, you can't travel on an airplane, you can't get a passport. There's a lot of you can'ts. Now, I hate to read while I'm on TV because I think it's kind of rude and what have you, but let me look at this. It says, data retention, DL and ID document standards, grants to states in immigration requirements, linking to databases, and a few other things. What it all amounts to is documents of the Social Security number. What it really amounts to is if the Real ID Act happens, you will no longer have any privacy. It will be gone, period, end of story. It will be gone. And also, another reason why the Real ID Act should not happen is this little thing called the Bill of Rights and later amendments. You see, real quickly, there's Amendment 1, freedom and petitions to assemble, right to bear arms, quartering of soldiers, search and arrest, right in criminal cases, rights to a fair trial, rights to civil cases, rights to bail, fines and punishment, rights retained by the people, and so on and so forth, and states' rights. Bottom line, the Real ID Act infringes on not only individual rights, all of yours and all mine, but also states' rights. In fact, if the states don't comply, they're going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars in funding on all levels, which will, of course, will affect Medicare, medical care, education, you name it. So we can't really cover all of it. But again, if the Real ID Act happens, you won't have any privacy. There's even talk of putting in a microchip kind of thing. So that basically means, let's say this Real ID Act happens and you have this card. There will be no place on earth that you can't be tracked. No place on earth. Now, you might be thinking, well, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I never did this and never did that. Why do I care? And people that have these cars, they have devices that can open the car for you and yada, yada, yada. That's a great thing. You might think it's a great thing. Here's the one big problem. You have lots of privacy when you do that. And more importantly, with the Patriot Acts and the Real ID Act and others, and the lots of habeas corpus, we have abolished many parts of these amendments, including the Fourth Amendment. But why does it pertain to you? If you are accused of a crime and you try to get out of town to protect yourself, not because you're a criminal, but you were unduly accused of something, with that ID, you can't get out. You're trapped. And that's anywhere on earth. And with Google being able to track almost all of the earth, you know the government can. This flies in the face of the United States Constitution. This flies in the face of the Bill of Rights. So if I care about the security of every American, and I care about every American, why am I not all in favor of the Real ID Act? Well, it's very simple. You don't give up your liberty for security. Because, as I said before in previous shows, Russia, when it was the Soviet Union, had security. You didn't have any liberty. You had to have permission to basically go from house to house. You had security. You had the military marching on the streets. You didn't have any freedom, but you had security. And now to the video, please. This is the colors of our flag. That's Old Glory. That's right, you're looking at Old Glory. United States of America flag. The red, white, and blue. The stars and stripes. Many different names. The show that you're watching today and all of my shows reflect the absolute dedication I have to see that our nation always stands for freedom, justice, and equality, and equal opportunity. It's time, America, that we fulfill those honorable ideas and honorable words and honorable dedications that our former leaders and our fellow Americans fought and died for. It's time we fulfill the words of the Constitution of the United States, and we make sure that every right in the Bill of Rights are in fact enforced. It is time, America, to fulfill the great idea of America, where no human being should go hungry. No human being should suffer from health care inequality and not being able to take care of themselves because of a lack of health care. No human being, no American should be without education. No American should starve. No American should face these catastrophes and tragedies. Who says so? Our Bill of Rights says so. Who says so? The Constitution of America says so. Who said so? Abraham Lincoln said so. So it is up to us, we, the living Americans, to make sure that our leaders in D.C. and in Harrisburg and throughout the United States does their job. And they start remembering that this is a nation of, by, and for the people. Let me say that again, America. Of, by, and for the people. Not of, by, and for the elite. Not of, by, and for the corporations or special interests or organizations. No, not for them, not for the pharmaceutical companies, not for the department stores that have a happy face and say you'll live better with lower prices. It's not a nation for them. And it's not a government of, by, and for the special interests. It is a nation, and always has been a nation, governed by you and I. It is a nation of, by, and for the people. And I will not retreat. And I will tell the tale all the time. No matter who likes it and who doesn't. No matter what my personal cost is. I will fight for that flag. So if you think I'm going to retreat, if you attack me, I'm not. If you think I'm going to concern myself about being too long-winded, I'm not. We need to be long-winded, America, when we are not getting what the Constitution says we're supposed to get. So America, it's time to wake up to reality. And the reality is, we live in a constitutional illusion.